She's been collecting fingerprints and other evidence on CSI since the hit CBS series began back in 2000.
But next week, crime scene investigator Catherine Willow is turning in her badge, and Marg Helgenberger is here to tell us exactly why. Good morning.
Good morning, Charlie. Good morning, Gail.
Good morning. Good morning.
So the question that I have is two. One, this is one of the great franchises in television history.
Yes.
And highest paid.
Yes. And what?
And highest paid, they say.
Yeah. Not a bad thing, Mark.
And you've had this remarkable run. What causes one to say, now's the time to go?
Well, that's an excellent question, one I've been asked quite a bit lately. And I was starting to, it's been an incredible run with an incredible group of people. The show still has, it does very well around the world, #1 in the world. It's still of great quality. It was a very difficult decision. I just think I felt the need to kind of step back, because I'd been playing this character for 11.5 years, to reassess and regroup. And as scary as that is, I'm also sort of very excited about the great wide open, the future, and all the possibilities.
I was wondering about the scariness of it, because your mom is in the green room. I love that you came with your mom, #1. But when I was growing up, my mom used to always say, you should never leave a job without a job. It's always easier to get a job from a job. Are you worried about it, or you just feel, I'm just open to all possibilities, whatever that is?
I'm not worried so much about it, but I am more excited about all the possibilities than I'm worried. I mean, the fact that I did have such a great experience on CSI, it'll be hard. The bar is set pretty high, so.
But you have a lot of interest as well.
A lot of interest?
Interest, yeah, and things that you might want to do.
Yes, yes, and career-wise as well as just,
Indeed.
you know, lifestyle in terms of
and
having
supporting
time
certain
now
causes that you do so well, like
Yes.
breast cancer and things like that.
Yes.
The character went through a very interesting evolution. I mean, tell me where it started and where you're ending it.
The character was introduced into the pilot script as Catherine Willow, CSI 3, single mother, ex-stripper.
Yeah, ex-stripper.
Ex-stripper. There was no...
What was that like, ex-stripper? Yeah.
Wasn't at all tawdry.
Yeah.
There was nothing, actually there was no scenes filmed of any flashbacks of Catherine in that pilot episode, and some of the producers, the female producers, thought of her about changing that backstory once we got picked up and put on the air. And I said, no, this is a woman who really, you know, that journey she took is quite different than most people that go into law enforcement. And I thought it really informed the character, informed the backstory. So I'm glad I stood up for my stripperdom, and
yes, yes.
And so yes, then that allowed her to, her sexuality wasn't necessarily something she had to run away from. It certainly didn't inhibit her job. What
would you like to do? You know, after 12 seasons, what would you like to do? And you're so identified with her.
Yes.
What are you thinking?
Well, because I'm so identified with her, I'd perhaps like to do something that's quite different. You know, that's
a stripper, perhaps. Listen, Marg, that's very different. That's very different. But really, what would you like to do?
I would, well, ideally, I'd like to do a play, perhaps here in New York City. A new play would be great, but I'm very interested in a revival. I haven't been a full production of a play in a gazillion years. But the type of role, I mean, I think I'd like to play somebody that was just kind of an ordinary woman that's under extraordinary circumstances, and doesn't really have a whole lot of the glam factor is sort of dialed down a bit.
As you look at all those options that might be there, whether it's theater, whether it's another film, whether it's a different character, before you do that, look back for a second. Is there an episode? Is there a moment? Is there something that happened over this really successful run that you'll always remember?
Wow. Well, because it's so fresh in my memory, the last episode that I shot, in which Catherine, I don't want to give too much away, actually. It was an opportunity when Catherine actually has a chance to say goodbye to the team, and then shortly after that, Marg said goodbye to the crew, and I got a nail pounded into my last mark on where I stood last, and that's my permanent mark. They're going to fashion something there for me, which will be there on stage 24 at Universal Studios. So it was an emotional journey. So and then the lead up to it, the arc of the 3-episode arc was action-packed as well as emotional. So I probably these because of probably, although so many have impact on me.
No,
Sorry.
Will you watch the last episode? I'm always curious. You've shot it. We all know what happens, or I know what happens. Will you watch the last episode?
I will watch the last
You will.
episode. Whether I want to see it by myself or with a group of
was
people, I'm
wondering.
not exactly sure, because I know there'll be some tears.
But your mom will watch with you. I met her.
Yes.
She's very nice. She'll watch with you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marg. Continued
you.
success,
Thank
whatever
you.
you decide to do. Whatever you
Thanks.
decide
Thanks
to
for
do.
having
you.
me.
Great to meet you.
You too, Joe.
Play in New York. I like that idea. You can see her final 2 episodes of CSI tomorrow and next Wednesday at 10 o'clock. That's, of course, 9 Central, right here on CBS.